Hi, this episode is about identity consciousness and the revolution behind it that's been going on for some time now. You see, a while back, I was in a meeting in a room in which the chairs were arranged in a semicircle, and the leader of the group, Sue, began by introducing herself, and she said, "Hi, I'm Sue, and my pronouns are she, her." And we went around the room, and at about the 12th person that came to me, I said, "Hi, um, I'm Chip, and I identify with the frequency 500 Hertz." And all of a sudden, everyone stopped and looked at me. They'd been on their cell phones all this time because, we're getting kind of used to this way of introducing ourselves. And the leader, Sue, looked at me and she said, what did you say? I haven't heard that one before. And I said, "Hi, I'm Chip, and I identify with the frequency 500 Hertz." And she asked, "Could you explain to all of us what that means?" And I said, "Well, first off, let's talk about identity consciousness." I said there are many who really poo-poo this notion of gender identification, she, her, he, him, cis. And I think that's a shame, because I think if people think through and stop, what is going on here? I think it's the most magnificent thing. And thank your generation for bringing this identity awareness and consciousness to us. Because I think in about 18 months, this notion of this very basic and elementary gender identification will cease to exist. I mean, we're going to get tired of this, right? We know who we are, and at some point that's going to become apparent to everyone. I don't think we're going to go through a phase in which we identify ourselves at still a very elementary level by the color of our skin or where we're from. But I do think that this revolution of identity consciousness is so profound, because that won't go away. We'll begin to identify ourselves at higher levels of consciousness, and oh, what a wonderful thing. What did I mean, 500 Hertz? Well, it turns out that scientists, that the physics, has identified that we do indeed, as humans, as do all objects, emit radio frequencies. For us, those radio frequencies go from a low of 20, which identifies an emission of consciousness of guilt or shame, and guilt just above it at 50. So be careful, all of you, because if you're guilty, you're going to show it here in just a little while when we start identifying ourselves at this higher level. When we get to about 250, that's a neutral state. And 500, it turns out, is the emission of love. So when someone is feeling particularly self-centered or narcissistic or have high needs for just me, that is an identity of less than 500. So we would identify ourselves. Well, I identify myself as a 250 frequency, neutral. That is why we're here. I mean, our Creator and Christ taught us two things, or many things, but two of which were to love the Lord our God with all our hearts and all our minds and all of our spirit. And he also said, love others as you love yourself. I think this identity consciousness will lead us to begin to identify in that way, because Jesus also did not suggest that we go and live in a mountain somewhere in total isolation, but he encouraged us to live in community like we are today. And so it's not bad, it's not negative to say, today I'm feeling a bit needy. I identify as 175 Hertz. That gives the rest of us the opportunity who are at higher states of consciousness at that moment to give love, right? I mean, this is profound. And so you see, I am emitting to you my identity. I'm Chip. And I identify 500 Hertz. And I really wish you have a 250 Hertz day and a 300 Hertz